Hey, Bill, any words? Money now. Bill, you messed up the money, right?
A lack of real planning. He should have had a tune-up fight first and then go into a fight with a guy like Romero. But, you know, these fighters and the promoters get turned by the money.
Which means they were trying all that they could to give Ryan the fight, but Ryan tried so little, threw barely any punches, that they couldn't even rob Rolly. But you could see they were trying to rob Rolly.
Bill Haney couldn't help but laugh during a live interview when asked about Ryan Garcia's shocking loss to Rolly Romero. The outspoken father of Devin Haney took to Twitter shortly after the fight, trolling Ryan and his team with a bold message. Congratulations to Devin, Rolly, and Teo for an iconic night of boxing 3-0. Meanwhile, in other news, Oscar 0-3. I'm still extremely puzzled how Ryan hasn't fired De La Hoya for putting him in the ring no PEDs clean against Rolly. Haney's tweet stirred up major buzz, mocking Oscar De La Hoya's promotional decisions. Throughout the Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero bout, Devin Haney and his father, Bill Haney, were caught on camera laughing at Ryan's performance.
Right here. Hey, Ryan, they canceling the face-off. They canceling the face-off.
Bob Arum criticized Ryan Garcia's decision to fight Rolly Romero immediately after a long hiatus. He said Ryan should have taken a tune-up fight first. According to Arum, fighters like Ryan and their promoters often chase money instead of making smart career choices, which ultimately leads to poor performances in the ring.
A lack of real planning. He should have had a tune-up fight first and then go into a fight with a guy like Romero. But, you know, these fighters and the promoters get turned by the money, and they don't make really good decisions. A good decision would have been to take a tune-up fight and then, you know, then you move to a Romero or even a Haney or so forth. You don't go right in after a year. You know, look at Haney. Haney looked terrible with Ramirez because he hadn't fought in a year.
After Ryan Garcia's stunning defeat to Rolly Romero, boxing legend Mike Tyson sat beside Derek Chisora as they both reacted to the performance. Derek didn't mince words. He said bluntly that Ryan didn't look like he was training at all.
We are live, Derek Chisora.
What's up, motherfuckers?
What did you think of that? You and Aaron, Mike, on the tear-up.
Great show.
Mike, what did you make of it tonight?
Great night.
What did you think of Ryan losing, Mike?
What did you think of Ryan losing?
You know what? It took a year out. It didn't look like he was training. Ryan didn't train for that fight.
You don't think so? Why?
I don't think so. Ryan didn't train. He didn't train for that fight.
What did you think of Devin, out of curiosity?
Devin boxed unbelievable, bro.
You have to give Rolly the credit, though, for the Ryan win.
Devin boxed unbelievable.
You have to give Rolly the credit, though, Derek, don't you?
Alright, fuck you guys.
What are you saying after this?
Boxing. Surprise. In a post that quickly gained traction on social media, Crawford said, "I told Shakur Stevenson before the fight that Rolly was going to win." This statement added weight to Rolly Romero's victory, as it came from one of the most respected minds in the sport. Following Garcia's lackluster performance, fans and commentators couldn't ignore the elephant in the room. Many began to openly admit what was once just a rumor, that Garcia might have used performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs, in his win over Devin Haney. Now that he fought clean and delivered such a flat performance, critics claim the truth was clear.
Devin Haney, I thought it was a little bit of PTSD, with after the Ryan Garcia fight last year, the whole steroids thing with Ryan Garcia and taking the big shots he took. Very, very safety first fight. If I have to compare it, I know some of you guys don't like it, then I compare myself to my style with Devin Haney, my boxing style with Devin Haney. I think we're very similar as fighters, except I had bad hands. He didn't. From there, you get that. with Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia, first of all, congrats to Rolly Romero because he was coming in with no momentum. I mean, he had lost the Pitbull Cruz. He'd won the title at 140 against Ismael Barroso in a very controversial fashion when Tony Weeks stopped that fight too early in his favor. So, you know, Romero had been coming in with no momentum really, and he was chosen sort of as sort of a dead duck, sacrificial lamb for Ryan's return, you know? There was that footage online, though, with that sparring, and there was a little bit of footage there, and it gave you a little bit of curiosity, right? But you're thinking, all right, you know, that was many years ago. Who knows what happens now? I tell you what, there must be some PTSD there as well, because once Rolly dropped Ryan stopped trying. Ryan stopped trying, and that's the biggest criticism there. It's, are you a Hollywood fighter? You know, why didn't you even go for it? Because at the end of the fight, although the fight was very one-sided, two schmuck judges actually had the fight within 3 points for Ryan Garcia, 115-112 for Rolly, which means they were trying all that they could to give Ryan the fight. But Ryan tried so little, threw barely any punches, that they couldn't even rob Rolly. But you could see they were trying to rob Rolly, and that's disgusting.
British welterweight contender Conor Ben weighed in after the fight, voicing his disappointment in Garcia's showing. Ben described the performance as very disappointing and expressed interest in seeing a rematch between Garcia and Devin Haney.
What did you make of it?
That's a very disappointing performance. Yeah, it was terrible.
You still want to get in there with him next though?
Nah, thank you. Not interested. Thank you.
What's the conversations been like about the rematch,
Huh?
What's the conversations been about the rematch with Turkey?
I mean, as far as I'm aware, it's locked in for September. So,
how have you found this whole new, like, your stocks rose? Obviously, a lot of people
yeah,
over here
I
are
mean, listen,
interested.
it's all just noise, you know. One day they love you, next they hate you, then they love you again, you know. So I just want to get back in there and secure the W. That's all it matters to me.
When you had that moment with Terence Crawford, what did he say to you?
I can't remember. I don't know, I've had a few.
Teofimo Lopez shifted the spotlight from Garcia's failure to Rolly Romero's success. He praised Rolly for staying disciplined, listening to his corner, and sticking to the game plan. According to Lopez, Romero fought smart and didn't let emotions take over. He did well, Lopez said, adding that he was happy to see Rolly get the win.
You know, in the main event,
Absolutely.
Rolly pulled it off. He said he would. He said, you know, people would be surprised, but he knew what he was going to do. What do you think about his performance?
No, I'm very happy for Rolly. You know, sad short shot for Ryan Garcia, but hey, look, you know, don't overlook anybody. And you know, I think Rolly had a great game plan. He listened to his team very well. You know, and before he went to the event, my father told him, just keep your right hand up the whole night. You know, and that's it. You'll win the fight. And he did that. And he looked great.
You saw what Devin did in the other fight on the card.
When asked about the Garcia versus Romero fight, Floyd Mayweather Sr., known for his candid takes and sharp boxing mind, chose not to say a word. His silence drew attention on its own.
Your thoughts on Rolly Romero beating Ryan Garcia?
All the players.
Do you think that the decision was right? What? Rolly Romero, the win.
Pop was into the fight. Low action.
Well, that's what he thinks about that fight. It put him to sleep.
After the fight, Ryan Garcia broke his silence in a brief but emotional message. "I'm really disappointed in the way I fought tonight. It was a bad night for me," he admitted. The statement was honest and straightforward, acknowledging the poor showing without excuses. Yet for many, it wasn't enough to undo the lack of heart and effort shown during the bout. Garcia's own words seemed to confirm that he knew just how much he had let both himself and his fans down.
Obviously, it wasn't a good night for me. It was a pretty off night. You know, Rolly did what he does. You know, took a lot of good power shots, caught me in the second round. But just even in the start of the fight, it just didn't feel like my feet were under me, like I had anything. But you know, I tried to fight through it, and just found myself very off after the year layoff. You know, that whole year, you know, it was a lot for me mentally, as you guys know. So fact that I got here is, and I'm in the position I am, my mind is as clear as it is a victory for me, I would say. But I'm extremely disappointed in the way I fought.
Former heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs didn't hold back his thoughts. He called all the fights on the card horrible, with particular criticism aimed at Garcia's bout. Ryan's fight was horrible. No punches, no trying, nothing, Briggs said.
Yeah, there was the fights was long, no knockouts. They were scared to fight.
We need heavyweights as part of this show.
They need punches. They need punches. Turkey needs punches. This ain't nothing. They wasted a lot of time coming to New York just to play around in the street.
What did you make of Ryan Garcia?
They all are horrible. All of them suck. The whole card. All of them can't fight. Everybody was scared of each other. Everybody was scared.
Garcia faced intense criticism online after the loss. The boxing page Happy Punch tweeted, "Ryan Garcia beat by Raleigh. I guess we saw what he looked like without PEDs tonight." The comment was sharp, but it summarized a belief held by many fans that Garcia's explosive rise may have been aided by substances, and his true form was exposed in this loss. Social media was flooded with memes, harsh takes, and skepticism toward Garcia's previous performances. As the emotional weight of the defeat sank in, Ryan Garcia was caught on video crying in a car after the fight. Ex-user The 505 Way posted the clip with the caption, "Ryan Garcia crying in the car after his loss to Rolly Romero." The moment quickly went viral, showing just how deeply the loss had affected him personally. Promoter Eddie Hearn also chimed in after witnessing Garcia's collapse. He suggested that something deeper might be going on with the young fighter. "It's really something bad going to happen. He needs help," Hearn said. His comments weren't about boxing technique. They hinted at concern for Garcia's mental and emotional well-being.
I mean, I saw some stuff tonight. I can't believe what I'm seeing. What the f*** are you doing? Honestly, something bad is going to happen if someone don't get hold of Ryan Garcia. I keep saying it. And, you know, you may play these clips back when something bad happens. Like, it's just a car crash. He just needs help. He needs help real bad. I hope he can get it.
Despite the backlash, Oscar de la Hoya took a more supportive stance. He dismissed the idea that the loss was devastating and said, "Ryan knows what he has to do." De la Hoya also added that a Devin Haney rematch wasn't off the table and that it would definitely happen.
On the fight real quick, man. How did you think Ryan looked out there, man?
Little gun shy, you know, that year off. You know,
what do you
all
think?
that power from Rollies, but he'll be back to the drawing board, and you know,
how devastating?
He'll live to see another day. That's it.
How devastating of a loss is this for Ryan, man?
Not devastating at all. At all. Win 12 rounds. He knows he's way better than that. He knows what he has to do. So.
Do you think the Devin Haney fight probably off the table? Do you think that, or?
It'll be back.
How do you?
It has to happen.
How do you think Devin looked out there, man?
Gun shy.
Following his victory, Rolly Romero felt vindicated. "Everyone was underestimating me," he said. Romero pointed out that Garcia only opened up one time in the whole fight, suggesting that he barely had to adjust his plan to control the bout. Rolly's comments underscored the one-sided nature of the fight and the lack of resistance he faced from someone who was once considered an elite-level threat.
You know, he's strong, you know, he has a good left hook, you know, and, you know, one time he opened up, you know, I cracked him and he didn't open up at all the rest of the fight. They're always going to underrate me because I'm not one of these prospects that started boxing that had a following and all stuff. They're fresh out the amateurs, they promoted them like, oh, this is the next big thing, yada, 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 all that stuff. At the end of it, I've done this 3 times. Three different divisions. I'm a 3-time world champion, and this might actually be the biggest, the most attended fight card in boxing history.
The fight, held in Times Square and promoted as a historic event, turned out to be one of the most underwhelming matchups in recent memory. Fans who had expected drama and excitement were left frustrated by the lifeless pace.
The 3 biggest takeaways from Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero, and yes, I'll break down the other fights on this card too. But my God, what an underwhelming night of boxing! Times Square was underwhelming. The fights were sure as hell underwhelming, but let's get through this review, shall we? Number 1, Rolly Romero defeats Ryan Garcia via unanimous decision. And just like that, one of the biggest boxing fights of the year, Haney versus Garcia 2, has lost all of its luster. So there wasn't that much action in this fight besides Ryan getting dropped in round 2. I think by a similar shot I saw in their sparring video from 8 years ago. But the second round Rolly had set the tone for the rest of the fight. Ryan couldn't get much offense off at all for 12 rounds. And for the first 8 rounds, there were a lot of rounds where I was like, I don't think either guy did enough to win that one. But in rounds 9 through 12, I thought Rolly had the far more aggressive moments, and he clearly took those final 4 rounds for me. At the end of the day, this was an awful main event, but it looks like Hagler versus Hearns in comparison to the next fight we'll discuss. And that's number 2. Devin Haney was at his all-time worst tonight. It looked like he was still recovering from the Ryan Garcia beatdown last year.
Another point of criticism came from fans who felt even the judges were trying to save Garcia. Yet, as many noted, Garcia's lack of effort made it impossible to hand him a win. Rolly Romero, by comparison, was sharp, tactical, and relentless. He masterclassed Garcia in a way that silenced any narrative about luck or flukes.
Words. We're on stream, by the way. Join in. Ryan Garcia gets absolutely masterclassed by Rolly Romero. Absolutely obliterated on the score on my scorecards. Now, two judges tried to rob Rolly. 2 judges scored at 7-5. Do not let these judges confuse you, people. Do not let these the punch stats confuse you. This was a 9-3, 8-4 fight. Ryan Garcia looked terrible. Rolly Romero put on a flawless performance. I am in absolute awe. I cannot believe what we just witnessed. Rolly Romero put on a better performance than Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. Wow. This is supposed to be the easiest fight on this card. By far, it's supposed to be the easiest fight. And I mean, it was. Rolly made this the easiest performance of the night. This is a shocker. Y'all gotta please help me. Please let me. I cannot fathom this quite yet.
Interestingly, during the fight, fellow boxer Shakur Stevenson could be seen shouting advice to Garcia from the ringside. Sitting next to Mike Tyson, Shakur kept telling Ryan to keep his hands up, clearly concerned about Garcia's lack of defense. The moment was both surreal and telling. Other fighters felt the need to coach Garcia in real time, highlighting just how unprepared he seemed.
Hey, Ryan, keep your hands up, Ryan! Let's go! Keep your hands up! Stay calm and relax! Relax, Ryan!
Relax, Ryan. Good job, baby. Inteligente. The double on. Straight up in the air.
Rolando
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas summed up Garcia's career arc with brutal honesty. He keeps getting in these fights, but he loses the big ones, Atlas remarked. The comment rang true for many, who feel that Garcia's career so far is more style than substance. Despite the fame, followers, and promotional deals, the big moments keep slipping away.
He keeps getting these fights. He loses the big ones, and he gives his all. I'm not knocking him, but he loses the big ones, and then he comes up and gets a big fight where obviously it passes somebody else up on the line that probably thinks, hey, wait a minute, I've been winning. I've been winning over here, and I'm not getting this shot. This guy loses when he gets them, and he gets another one. Like, what the? Like, what the heck? I can't just definitively say no, not because of Romero, but because of Ryan. My only question is, has he found himself? And it's not physical. It's not physical at all. At all. I have no doubts he's good physically. Has he found himself mentally? If he has, And I'm going to venture to say yes, he has. But if he has, then he wins this fight.
Blair Cobbs, never one to shy away from dramatic takes, said it was very strange how Garcia got outboxed by Rolly Romero. He even called it funny, showing disbelief at how Garcia, a supposed top-tier talent, could look so lost in the ring. His remarks added yet another layer to the piling criticism of what many are calling the most embarrassing night of Garcia's career.
How do you get outboxed and outpointed by Rolly? That's strange. Very strange. Sounds like you guys need good old bladder flair. Yeah. This shit is funny. Devin did a horrible job. Oh my God. He looked like the biggest pussy in boxing. That was wild.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.